going on, my friends? Today marks a new day and also a new series on my channel. This is the Week on Chain. This is going to be a new series that I'm creating where it's going to be mostly in regards to Bitcoin, and I'm going to be talking about technical analysis, on-chain analysis, various different fundamental analysis, of course, but it's going to be everything in regards to mostly Bitcoin. And today we're just going to be doing a couple of different things in regards to some technical analysis and where the price could go and if Bitcoin could possibly capitulate even further. And then we're going to take a look at a couple of different on-chain analysis indicators, and then we're going to even do some whale watching. So let's just dive in. So right now we can see here on this chart, this is with the 200-day moving average right now. And I just want to show you guys this is that, there's been a couple of different tests moving up to the 200-day MA. We can see here that there was a test here back in June and it failed, but then eventually recovered after that. And then we can even see here, I just want to show you guys this and talk about this, is that within the past 6 months, you could technically say that we have entered bear market territory. I mean, we can see these little pumps, these little rallies, and that's not to say that we could see possible rallies moving forward still. But I also want to show you guys this, is that there's been clear tried attempts at surpassing the 200-day moving average. And well, there's been only failed attempts and it hasn't succeeded, and even further capitulating down in here. So I think with this, we can clearly say that we've been in a bear market. And so far, this has actually been, believe it or not, 188 days that we've moved into this territory. And like I said, during bear markets, it's not to say that the price of Bitcoin can't pump at all. I mean, in fact, the price can actually easily pump. Let's take a look at previous bear markets. Here we can actually see that during the period after, December of 2017, where there was this massive rally here and massive run up right in here, there was a massive falling down, but what happened actually at the same time? Well, there was these massive pumps, and let's take a look at that. We can actually take a look and analyze what percentage that was. So, 67%. We can even take a look here, another 40%. Here, another 29%, and then ultimately capitulating even further down in here, which we're even going to talk about a whale in a second here buying this dip here, and we're going to go over and just take a look at a couple of different other factors in their wallet. So yeah, you can see here that the price can pump during a bear market, and even now we've even had a couple of different rallies moving up to around 20% here, even what is this, around 21%. So we've had these 20% rallies moving up, and even looking forward, we can probably it's probably safe to assume that Bitcoin could potentially pump even further. And we could say that it could even test the 200-day moving average as well. So let's take a look. If it actually were to right now test the 200-day moving average, it would of course, the moving average is a lagging indicator and it's moving, of course, as well. So, it could potentially hit it here, but there's a possibility of even having a 40% rally. Even in a bear market, that's definitely possible. Now, during this time, a lot of people will probably be making videos saying that Bitcoin is back and, it's pumping again, and then only to capitulate possibly further. This is just my hypothetical guess. And then what happens in the news? Well, the media will just say and announce that Bitcoin is dead again for the millionth time, technically. Media always loves doing that, but, I think that Bitcoin is still going to be an extremely strong asset to hold. So when it comes to the macroeconomic factors that's happening in the market, we can see that the inflation rate has been increasing a lot. Matter of fact, it's never been this high since I've been alive. We can see here back in the 80s, there was a massive peak. And then right now it looks like it's potentially leaning that way as well. So it's in my belief that if these macroeconomic factors still stand and the US Fed is still hawkish, then it's in my belief that Bitcoin could actually test the 200-week moving average. Right now, that would actually put it at a potential price at around 21,000. To me, that's kind of the worst case black swan event that we could see. And, I definitely think that this could be possible. I think that, it would take a while to actually get to that point. But, as of right now, the 200-week moving average is, of course, actually moving up as the price is above it right now. But with that, I'm guessing that we could see this potential black swan event down actually and wicking to this 200-week moving average. And in my case, in my thought would be that this would be one of the best accumulation periods. And while it may seem like one of the best opportunities to be buying altcoins right now in this second, there could be a potential capitulation even further with Bitcoin, which would cause altcoins to even dip even further. I mean, altcoins, when Bitcoin gets hammered, altcoins always gets hammered even more. And right now, to me, this looks like Bitcoin season. It doesn't really look like altcoin season right now. And, during this type of season, it's best to just hold on to Bitcoin mostly, especially. And, this would protect you and your portfolio from getting wrecked even further, especially in the case of altcoins that have gone down quite a lot. Let's just take a look at even just Harmony One. We can see that Harmony One had a peak at around 36 cents. And what's happened since then? Well, it's down 87%. So could it fall even further? And what would it look like even if it did? Well, if it dropped to its previous prices back in 2021, then that would be at a negative 80%. So it could go down another negative 80%, which would be, drastic, but, surely possible, as sad as that is to say. And I also think it's also important to take a look at, for example, the Bitcoin evaluations of different assets. So if we just take a look at Solana Bitcoin, we can see here that there is a bit of a support level here, but during bear markets, support levels can get completely wrecked and not even be found, and people can just start selling off, and Solana could even fall even harder right now. So I think it's also important to take a look at not just the USD evaluations, but also the Bitcoin valuations when you're taking a look at altcoins right now. Now, whether that's to say you really care if the price drops another 80%, if you're going to see, another pump up to, 200% to a 500% gain, within 3 years, that's, a different type of investor. I'm not one to personally just, buy and hodl and, treat as a retirement account to, just sell off when I'm older. I definitely think it's important to take profits along the way, especially in the crypto space. That's kind of what I've always thought. So let's take a look at a couple of different on-chain statistics and indicators right now. So Bitcoin wallet size is greater than 1 Bitcoin. What's interesting is that even with the price going up to $34 and around $30,000, what it's at right now, we can see here that Bitcoin wallet sizes greater than 1 Bitcoin has been growing, which is quite interesting. So I think that more people are seeing the potential of Bitcoin and the possibility of just having it as a great digital asset to invest in. And with that, a lot more people are trying to buy and become a whole coiner. So I think this is definitely an interesting statistic, is that it's continuing to grow. It's not falling off at all. I mean, of course, there's periods where the price movement was, dull and not really moving that much. And then, even what's kind of interesting is that even when the price movements weren't that big, there was less people trying to become a whole coiner. And with that, whenever the price moves up again, then more people are trying to become a whole coiner. So I guess it's that psychological aspect of it where if the price falls a lot, people think that the price could keep falling and keep, depreciating and not want to buy in at all. It's kind of interesting. And then when the price goes up again, then they see more value in it and they want to buy. This is Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. What's interesting about this is it's been pretty accurate when showing some of the slowed growth, right? There was these, amazing 100x gains that we're following here. And then what we can see is that in previous market cycles, we can see that it's kind of fallen into this fair market value here. And what's interesting too is that it's even fallen below these indicators before. Let's take a look at that. So back in March of 2020, this actually fell below the logarithmic growth curves. So March 2020, let's take a look at March in 2020. You can see here there was this massive sell-off. And of course, this was due to the whole pandemic and all that. And we can just see here that there was this, 60% fall, around a 50% sell-off. And this marked a pretty good buying opportunity, considering that, Bitcoin then went up and increased a lot ever since then. And we can see here that it went exponentially above that. So, and we can also see here that right now, believe it or not, it's below the logarithmic growth curves. And we can see here that, is this a good buying opportunity? Is this a potential entry point? Could be. Let's take a look at the MVRZ score. This basically takes into account whether Bitcoin is undervalued or overvalued. And we can just take a look and see here, and look at this. We can see here back in December of 2018, it was in this green area back in December of 2018. Let's take a look at December of 2018 and see where the price was back then. What do you know? Right here, right at the bottom of the bear market. This was the best accumulation period possible when taking a look at Bitcoin's price. And right now, you can see that we're starting to, well, enter that period again. So, in my eyes, it's kind of looking like it could open up potentially soon for one of the best buying opportunities possible in the cryptocurrency markets. Now, of course, not financial advice, but just my thoughts. Again, I think that Bitcoin, it's definitely Bitcoin season. And I think that alts are definitely probably, the riskiest thing you could hold onto right now, especially considering that people are going to be selling those first, if anything happens further with the, economy as a whole. Let's do a little bit of whale watching right now. I love doing this, and I want to take a look at a couple of different wallets. The first one, these are wallets 104 to around, looks like 122. These wallets could actually all be owned by the same exact person. What's kind of interesting about these wallets is they're all holding right around the same amount of Bitcoin, 9,873. They're all holding that. And so there's speculations that these could be all the same whales. Actually, it could just be one whale or not, but who knows? Maybe they're trying to diversify their exchanges or different wallets. Could be. This is taken into account one of the holders here of 9,872 Bitcoins. And we can see here, first of all, let's take a look at some of their buying periods. And we can see here back in 2018, December 4th to December, all in December 4th. In 2018, they were buying a lot. Let's take a look at December 4th. In around that time, 2018, what happened? Again, like I said, one of the best buying opportunities was around this zone back in December. And so, again, right now, what is this wallet doing? Well, they have not bought or moved any Bitcoins to this wallet since then, until recently they actually started going at it again. So we can see here back in May of 2022, and they were doing a little bit back in 2021, but just one move here. But then, and this was at and around. Let's just take a look at this. This was July 27th of 2021. So July 27th of 2021, we can see here that back July 27th, that was in this range. So again, another dip here that they bought. And then they bought back in December during this dip. And then when else have they been buying? Well, just recently, back in May of May 19th. So really recently, they've been buying again. So right in here. So looks like they may know what they're doing. I mean, they are accumulating in good periods. I mean, they've definitely been profitable doing this. And they've been doing this being profitable on a consistent basis. Now, let's take a look, because not every single whale is smart, okay? There's also some dumb whales, or at least, whales that aren't making what seems like the correct move. So right here, this is whale number 34, okay? 34th largest whale. We can see the profit from price change is negative $553 million. So what was this whale doing? Well, this whale was actually buying. You can see here in the green, these are all buys here. And you can see that they were buying at around $47,000 to around $50,000 in that range. And then, well, what happened? Well, as the price kind of lowered and dipped from then, they've been selling. Look at this. You can see here that on May 14th, they were selling 500 Bitcoins. We can see again, May 10th, 500 Bitcoins. and they've been selling at a loss considering they were buying most of their buys are at around $40,000 to $50,000, and here they're selling at around $30,000. So a negative account of $553 million of a loss right now. So it's kind of interesting to look at and just take a look at some of these different factors and, on-chain analysis and statistics. I'm really excited to continue making these videos. I want to do one of these, around one video like this a week, and then continue making more fundamental type of videos with altcoins and other things like that, and also just some news that's happening in the markets. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this video? If you like the content, do me a favor by minting me a subscription down below. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.